Hey guys, a slightly more relaxed Tom. I'm in the kitchen, it's the evening, and I'm working at the table, and I have my workflow here, and iPad, and this is the computer that I'm working on. And even though I have a vertical desk for all my ordinary stuff, when I'm actually doing this, I do need a bit more space. So I usually come here when it's all quiet in the house, everyone else is in bed. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. It sounds ridiculous, but actually it's a really good time for me because of the US and also Australia, where there's a lot of activity at the moment. It's a great time to get things done, and it's quiet. And with 4 kids in the house, it's not often quiet enough to do video. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the whole process of how I end up with something like this, which you are not probably going to be able to hear properly, but effectively I end up with a chalkboard video, and I'm show you. I might be able to show you this. Yeah, okay, let's see if we can go. Okay, so I think you'll end up with something like this, and I'm pretty sure you won't be able to hear properly this. Yeah, so okay. Let me go back to the beginning. So this will be roughly what it will be like. Now you'll hear the rubbish sound because you'll hear it, I think, coming out of my speaker. But I'm not sure. Let's see what happens.
So he talks about habits, about cultivating great habits, and he uses that, I think, very common thought process that we have these days, at least I do, which is when you keep habitual thoughts of being great. I mean, it's whatever you repeat in your thoughts become convictions, and that's what he talks about. And then think, and he talks about the read less, think more, about growth and growing, about having original thought, what you think you are, that whole thing. This is 1910. I think it's great that he's the one that's kind of pioneering some of these thought processes we have now. So habits and think, and he talks about action, the actions you should take at home, the actions you should take outside of the home.
Okay, so you get the idea, and we can just scroll through it and see that a little bit faster.
Thoughts about point of view. So even though he introduces it in step 1, he goes really into it. He's using that point of view of which age outside.
And you can just go through it and see me. Now, okay, so I really like this. I think it's great. It's simple. You've got the ability to. It looks nice and authentic as well. You've got kind of pages, but with chalkboard, so it kind of looks nice. And you can also do some highlighting. And when you're done with the video, obviously this will change your life. Nice, very awesome. Okay. When you're done with your video, you've actually got all the slides as well as a PDF, which is kind of nice. Well, that's different from when I did the original Science of Getting Rich stuff. I didn't have that functionality. So let's go to showing you start to finish of the whole process. So the first thing is you've got to record the audio. And I do that over Skype or its equivalent. So I actually used with Angela. What did we use? I think we used Google Hangout with voice only. She isn't so good actually. I think I'll probably go to VC to do that, or Skype or anything like that. So you have a phone call with somebody. If you're in the same room as them, fantastic. You can just record it as a conversation, record it straight to your phone or something. But most of the people I do my joint courses with are in other parts of the world, and like Angela, and she's in the States, she's in Austin, so I just called her up and we recorded it. And we did do that one in Google Hangouts, that's right. Yeah. So we did it with Google Hangouts, and all you do is you go to the top of Google Hangout up here, and you click turn the camera off. Yeah, there you go. Now Google Hangouts isn't brilliant for bandwidth, but it did give us good results, because when we recorded this, it automatically goes up to YouTube. Okay, so let's show you that part of the process. Yeah, let's do that. I'll show you that part of the process. YouTube. Okay, I'm just going Video Manager. Okay, and I'll screen share this. Live now. Brilliant, I can see that. Exciting. Right, go back to here and screen share. Screen share now. That should be sharing with you. Yeah, it is sent to everyone. Okay, so you've got all the videos that you might want to do. Now, you should find one. Here we go, it is. There they are. The Science of Being Great, How to Be Awesome, an Overview of the Principles, and Science of Being Great Session 1. Oh, that was a test. Yeah, we didn't do it. It's this one. 23 minutes. So you click on the arrow here and download the MP4 of it. I'm not going to do that because it will use up a bit of bandwidth and it might kick out the audio, but basically that's what you actually do. You just download the MP4 file. Then, when you've got your MP4 file, which will be somewhere like in my downloads, all I do is, it's really easy on the Mac, by the way, but I'm sure it's pretty easy on Windows. You just convert that into an audio file. So you just pop it open and then just convert it to an audio file, and then it appears in iTunes, and it will look like this. Let's see if I can do screen share to iTunes. Oh, that's not iTunes to me. Yeah, brilliant. So then I've got the audio file, and let's play a little bit of this. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to hear it properly. We'll see. So the introduction. So.
Well, welcome to the Science of Being Great. This is our overview. Tom, I'm really excited about this course. It's going to be very different than our other one by Wallace Wattles.
Now, I missed out a step here, actually. I don't do it usually like that. I actually create... forgotten about this little step. I usually go into GarageBand and I clean it up a little bit. And I don't do any editing, a tiny, tiny bit of trimming, because usually Google Hangouts don't give you the perfect, I mean, you know, you've got the start and the end, tiny bit of trimming. And I split this 23 minutes up into 3 sections because I felt it was more logical to do it like that. And I will put a standard effect on it. So I won't mess around, I'll just put a standard effect. It's usually one of the ones that goes for podcasting in there, and export it into that. And you'll hear that actually the audio quality is really rather good. You consider that it was done through Google Hangout. It's really not too bad at all. I've got a good microphone, a fairly good microphone. Angela's got a pretty good microphone. Blue Snowflake she's got. I think I have the Blue Snowflake as well, but I upgraded recently to the Apogee mic. And I think audio, it's really important to get good quality audio, especially as you're going to be doing it on most of the time. If you're doing a co-authored program, you're going to be doing it over an internet connection. Right, so I've got the audio file now, and that's more or less done with that. That's just going to play in a minute. Now, I go to the iPad, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the iPad in a second. Now, this will be interesting. If I can show you my iPad, I think I will be able to. I think I shall. Let's see. Okay. I might need to establish that. It's on this MacBook Pro. What I'm trying to do at the moment is I'm trying to get what's on my iPad screen appearing here for you. And it's not as trivial as you might think. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad. A little bit minor connectivity problem here. Could be because I'm doing Hangout at the same time. Ah, right, good. Guten Tag. Right, so I'm doing it on an iPad, but you could use a stylus or something like that. I'm doing it on an iPad because the apps I like. The apps for annotating and drawing are really, really good. I'm sure there's some excellent ones on the computer, on the PC as well, but I just love them on the iPad. They're fantastic. So let me show you this now. Screen share off. Screen share on. iPad. Present to everyone. Nice. Okay, so I've now got my iPad, and I'm foolishly trying to do something on the iPad screen. Of course, I don't. I do it on the iPad here. Now I'm going to use an app. called UPad. There it is. I've got a bunch of different apps that I've been messing around with. UPad is, oh, don't want to delete it. UPad is the one that I think is my favourite. Paper is really nice. Inkflow Plus is good. Vissel is good for videos. TestFont is something else. ThinkFlow is really nice as well. I'll be doing other stuff with that in the future. Keynote is quite nice for doing those backgrounds if you want backgrounds that are more fancy than UPad's backgrounds. But anyway, let's go to UPad and see what happens. And I'm going to open the presentation that I just did. But effectively, what I'll do there is I'll start off with a blank presentation which has got settings. You should be able to see this. Hope you can see this. Yeah, I think you can. Okay. Yeah, I think you can see this. The top is just coming through. It doesn't show on my screen because it's giving me some. You are presenting this information stuff, but I'm pretty sure that you can see it. So you go to settings. You can control what happens as a background in this thing, and you can choose a bunch of different things as backgrounds. I like the chalkboard ones just because they're a little different. And maybe that's because I'm a teacher. I mean, you've got fancy things like grids you can add if you want to. Don't know what it would show. Does it even show? Yeah, a little bit. If you wanted to have grids for doing math stuff, something like that, you could. It's a brilliant little app. It's not. No one's really heard of it, and I love it. It's fantastic. There's loads of apps out there for annotating, and I've looked through a lot of them. This is perfect for a number of reasons. You can lock it. I don't know what it even does. Oh, that's all. Yeah, okay. Put the password. Okay, thank you. This is really nice because you can export it as a PDF or a series of images. So what I'm going to give people in the Udemy lectures is not only will they have the videos, but they'll also have a series of slides if they want to just quickly go through them and see what's in there. I think that'd be pretty cool. You export it to other apps, like Dropbox, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to close those settings now. I've got the background that I want. So I'm going to show you, it's probably easy to show you what it would look like. It would look it's on a blank screen. Now, this is a palette. I can minimize that. Here. Down the bottom left hand side, you can't see this really, so I'll show you, draw there. You've actually got a this palette, so if I click on that, I'm going to go and put that this way around. Now, it's really nice. I mean, I'll do probably another tutorial on how to use this, but the good thing is you can set up 6 different pens, at whatever thickness you like and whatever color you like. So I'm just going to unclear all items. Now, so I've for these ones, I've decided to draw this this white stuff, and I think it just looks kind of cool. And I like the feel. I'm just using a fairly cheap stylus. It costs like $10 or something like that. I like the feel of writing, and it's really fast. It's instant. A lot of the apps out there, they don't give you that instant feedback. Like you actually feel, and if you go slowly and deliberately, you can get quite a lot of granular fineness. But anyway, so there's 2 ways to do this from now on. You can go through and work out what your content's going to be because you recorded it, and you could draw some little diagrams. You can have some various bits that you want to show off and talk about, things like sausage machines and stuff like that. And you can set up a few titles, happy and sad, stuff like that if you want to. Now, you can change the thickness of the pen if you want to. That one looks quite thin, but I kind of like it. I think it's quite nice. But you can make it quite thick if you want to. And then if you want to do something that's a little bit more garish, whatever, it's your own style. Okay. Now this is quite interesting because What I'm doing is I'm recording with you and screen sharing over the internet what I'm putting on my screen, which is on the iPad being sent over the same Wi-Fi. So it's pretty interesting what it's doing. It seems to be managing okay. UPad is probably not a 100% stable app. It'll crash once every 10 times I probably use it. So I feel like teaching it gently. But it's really nice because what you can do is once you've written stuff, you can then go from any page. I'm showing you all these things. Now when you do your actual video, you don't see these, which is quite nice. What do you mean? Oh, there it goes. It's great. It's just what I was saying, yeah. Fantastic. So I'm firing up again. Luckily, it's really good at saving stuff. Automatically saves, or pretty much all the time. So you can see there's 30 pages. So you can scroll to a particular page that you want, and then pop that page up. And then you can go backwards and forwards to page 6 and page 7. Now this is after I've done one, so I've done a lot of the script. I wouldn't set this up, as you can see. I'm going to explain what I do in a minute. I often write a little bit of text, and then I go back and colour it with a different pen. So let's go back using the page tool to the end of the document. And I'll show you very briefly how I do that. I put this up, and I will use this colour, use this colour. Now I'm just checking the thickness. It's gone back to that thickness. Nice. Didn't save that. So I might want to put a bit of white around it. It's good. Now, if I want to then draw attention to it, I ping out another colour. So I might have something like red to bring that out, or highlight it. You know, I can set up my pens. But in that now, if I tap it, if I do it the wrong, I can't exactly the way to do it. But anyway, I can do that, and you can see me. I can colour them in. There's a red one, there's a yellow one, there's a purple one, and so on. So you get the idea. So I can draw that. Now the thing is, how do I do that? How do I actually get a video of this? This is almost certainly not going to work. What am I putting into the sausage machine? Yes, thank you very much. I know. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the audio. Right?
It's the science of getting rich. Don't you agree?
Yeah, totally. I really love this book, and I love the science of getting rich. I love it, and I love the science of being great. But if I had to choose, if I had to only take one to a desert island, it would be this one, because for me, there's just so much more meat in it, and it makes you, when you look back at the science of getting rich, it makes you think, well, this actually, it was incredibly good and incredibly powerful, but it was quite superficial compared to this one. So really excited. We've been talking about this for like 2 years, haven't we?
Yes, yes. Well, this is a bit more esoteric. And
so that's me actually doing it, but I'm not recording it. So I would then use a bit of screen capture software. And this is the thing that I'm going to tell you is almost certainly not going to work. I mean, I'm really pushing the limits here. Right, okay. You can't really see what I'm doing, I don't think, but I'm capturing my screen. So I've got my screen capture software to come over the top and catch exactly the right size of screen that I want, which is fantastic. So I'll go, and it's actually going now, and it's recording. Now I put the audio on.
I think it took a little bit more thinking than the science of getting rich. I think is a little more straightforward. Do this, there you go. This one has so much, like you said, meat, but thought-provoking concepts. It goes really, really deep. So how do you turn that into a course? And I think we've done a really bang-up job.
I'm now screen capturing this, but it doesn't capture my audio.
The 2 years wasn't.
Even though I can hear the audio, it doesn't capture my audio. It only captures the audio that's playing through the system. Okay, so then I stop the screen software, and then basically Save now. I'm just going to do a low quality one because it won't. It'll be faster. I've messed around with the details of this for ages to try and get it absolutely perfect and working really well. But I can do any of these for you, and I can show you how to do these using this software. If you don't have a Mac, then you'll have to play around with that sort of stuff yourself. But the screen capture software that a lot of people use is Camtasia. I didn't like that particularly. There's a bunch of them. My favorite one for the PC is Screencast-O-Matic. Now, I got to show one feature which is really nice. Let me just show you what we. I think it's this one. Right, now, what'll be interesting is you might be able to see what we actually just recorded just then.
I think it took a little bit more thinking than the Science of Getting Rich. I think is a little more straightforward. Do this, there you go. This one has so much, like you said, meat, but thought-provoking.
Okay, so I don't know whether you can actually hear any of that audio, but you notice that when I was recording that, it didn't record any of me. That's pretty low quality because I just did a quick one, so I did a fairly low frame rate and not very high resolution. But the main reason for doing this, I guess, doing it like that, is back to me, back to camera. The main reason for doing a process like that is because I can then do it very easily, just in real time. And okay, so there's a bit of fiddling around, but you're going to have to do a lot of fiddling around anyway. And so what you end up with is let me just show you this one quick thing. It's worth showing you because this is cool. You notice that on my video it was showing, but on the video I just did then I do. This is why I like the app UPad, because you've got the ability just to get into what's called presentation mode. And you'll notice that when I click into the presentation mode, right? All the toolbars disappear, which is pretty cool. And so I can move from page to page, like I'm doing now, and you can't see me moving from page to page. You just see a new page appear. That's pretty cool. So I like that a lot. Okay, and if I'm changing my pens, you can't see that. If I'm changing the colors, you can't see what I'm doing. I've gone from green to yellow to a different color. You can't see blue, whatever. And I've got I put my finger on it, and I'm changing all this sort of stuff, and all you can see is the result. And that's pretty nice, actually. It's kind of, I know people have become numb to all this cool stuff, but I really like it. You know, it's just like a bit like magic, isn't it? Okay, so the purpose for doing all this stuff is that then the actual flow is really easy. You know, when I'm actually doing it at the time. So I can literally knock out a 20-minute recording in probably not much over 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. So I produce half an hour of video. Okay, so I've done the original recording. So let's talk about a 20-minute series of lectures. Might be 3 lectures, total 20 minutes. So it's for 20 minutes to record it. I then have to download it from YouTube, so it takes a couple of minutes. I then will have to edit the sound and just clean it up, and that doesn't take very long at all. It probably takes about a minute for every 10 minutes of audio, so that'll take a couple of minutes. It's really simple. You just trim the ends, put an effect on, check it, listen to it, it's fine. It goes into iTunes. I fire up UPad, I choose a memo background, I've got my pens all set up because, of course, I'm going to use the same style for a whole course, so I've got all that up and running. Then I click play on I click screen capture. I'm not usually doing a hangout at the same time. I start the screen capture of my screen. I hit play on iTunes, which is off the screen, so it's not been captured. I've already got the iPad showing on the screen using Reflector. Oh, by the way, if you don't have the Mac, I don't know what program you can use for that. Reflector is a way to just show whatever's on your iPad. I'm sure there is some for the PC. So you then end up with just the audio playing and me annotating it in real time. When that's done, it takes probably about a minute for every 5 minutes. A minute for every 5 minutes to actually render the video. And then I upload it to Dropbox. This is a bit fancy. I upload it to Dropbox and then incorporate it from Dropbox into Vimeo, and then download the HD file from Vimeo, and then upload the HD file from Vimeo into Udemy. And that might seem like a bit bizarre, a bit convoluted, but Vimeo have got really great encoders, and it's really fast. And I only have to upload it to Dropbox, which is also really fast. And then when I upload a really, really well-coded file, for example, yesterday, I did a file that was 180 megabytes. 180 megabytes, and that's like enormous. It's only 3 or 4 minutes. So uploaded it to Dropbox. Dropbox to Vimeo. Got to Vimeo, downloaded the HD file from Vimeo. It's only 16 megabytes. It looks the same. As far as I'm concerned, it looks exactly the same. So Vimeo have got some genius sort of codecs going on there. And then so when I'm uploading a file to Udemy, I'm only uploading the 16 megabyte one and not 180 megabyte one. So that's good. And it's not so much that it's good for me. Uploading doesn't take very long. It's good for good for the user experience, because when they're playing a video, they're not having to play one that is like hundreds and hundreds of megabytes. And I've kind of made that mistake before, and I might want to do that in the future. I'll probably do that again. In the future, I'll do that with all my files. I'll upload them via Vimeo and get them Vimeo to compress them. Anyway, that's it. That's my process. As I'm explaining it, it's sounding like there's quite a lot of steps. There are quite a few steps, but the whole thing probably takes, for every 20 minutes of, oh, don't forget, yeah, when I'm then recording it, I've got to do it in real time, so it's going to take at least as long. Well, it'll take exactly as long as the recording, won't it? So you've got to allow probably for about 3 times the length of the recording in total. And so if you probably add a little bit, you talk about maybe slippage, stuff like that. If you made it 5 times, so for every 20 minutes of video you're producing, probably takes you about 100 minutes, the whole thing. But that's pretty good when you consider to produce 20 minutes of video in an animated style, using any of the software that does it. Take you forever. When I used VideoScribe, it looks good, it looks great, but it's not time effective. It's not even particularly cost effective, but it's not time effective at all. It looks good, but it's taking me a day to do a minute, and that's not good use of my time. Okay, right, that's my workflow. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I need to go to bed.